and the surrounding areas. Good evening to all of you who are watching us via the various media houses, Facebook, YouTube, CCM website. A pleasant good evening to you. This is the voice of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, CCM. And we are here in the center of Cotton Ground this evening. As is customary, ladies and gentlemen, with this party, we start every meeting with a word of prayer. And tonight is no different. So let us bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the showers of blessings. We thank you for the many blessings you have poured on us as a people and as an island. We ask that you continue to guide and bless us as a people. We ask that you grant us the wisdom and the courage to speak to our people truthfully this evening. We ask that you open the eyes of the good people of St. Thomas's, open their ears, open their hearts, so they may take this message seriously, so they may consider every word that is being uttered to them this evening. We thank you, Father, for granting us strong leaders that we're able to put before the people during these elections. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the wisdom. And we ask that you continue once again to guide and bless us as we move forward towards the 5th of August. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. Cotton ground, cotton ground, cotton ground. Barnsgott, Cohoons, Westbury, Cage Bay, wherever you're hearing me this evening, I want you to draw nigh. We recognize that it's a little overcast, but the showers of blessing is good for all of us. And for those of you who are listening via the social media, we welcome you to another of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party as we move forward towards August 5th, the day of reckoning for the island and people of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen of St. Thomas's Parish, Cotton in particular, I want to spend a couple of minutes to reflect a little bit on how we got here. I remind you that in 1970, the island of Nevis was being choked from the St. Kitts end. We were being choked. As a result of that, a party was formed called the NRP to fight the Nevis cause. And all the way, every one of us was old enough, rallied behind the NRP at the time to fight for Nevis. We are at a similar point in our history this evening. But this time, the fight is being pushed forward by the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, CCM. And unfortunately, rather unfortunately, unlike in 1970, when all of we rallied behind the NRP and the Nevis cause, unfortunately this evening, we would have witnessed a few persons who are out there trying their best to undermine Nevis and the Nevis people. Undermine the Nevisian cause. But I want to say to you, the good people of St. Thomas's this evening, to all of you who are listening via the social media, that this election is a serious election. And it is vitally important that we all come together under one umbrella. And that is the umbrella of Nevis. I said to you, it is not a CCM election. It is not an election about NRP. It is an election about Nevis. So I want to ask you, the good people of Cotton and St. Thomas's Parish in a whole, to put your differences aside. Put your differences aside for these upcoming elections, because this is a very serious election that we are facing. This election will decide where Nevis go. It is not an election that is going to decide where CCM go or NRP go. It is an election that is going to decide where Nevis go in this federal relationship. And I said to you, people of Cotton Ground, that this is our best opportunity. The best opportunity, and maybe the last opportunity that we would have to establish something good for the people of Nevis. It may be our last hope. Let us grasp this hope with both hands. Let us grab the opportunity. It is not a time for us to be divided as a people. It is not that time. That time will come whenever you want the premier decides to call the local elections. But this election is all about Nevis and Nevis's fair share. Ladies and gentlemen, it is strange that a party in Nevis, in St. Kitts, sorry, the People's Action Movement, is supporting the cause of Nevis and supporting the concerned citizens movement in their fight. The other party in St. Kitts, which is the PLP, led by Prime Minister Timothy Harris, is trying their best to suppress the island and people of Nevis. And unfortunately, they are being supported by the NRP. I call them now the ANP, the Anti-Nevis Party. And I say that because every situation we get involved in St. Kitts and Nevis, the NRP seems to be on the wrong side of it on every occasion. Every occasion. When we were trying for independence in 1998, the NRP was against us, against Nevis. When our check was bounced in 2013 by the Labour Party, the NRP rejoiced. They were happy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a prime minister who's trying his best to squeeze the island and people of Nevis. And again, we see the NRP fighting against the best interests of the people and the island of Nevis. I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen of Cotton Ground and St. Thomas's on a whole, that this time around, Nevis is calling on you. Nevis need your support. Nevis need your support. Do not play games with the island and people of Nevis. I want to point out one last thing to you, and that is in St. Kitts, the fuel surcharge that is choking us as a people here in Nevis, choking us. Nobody in St. Kitts pays fuel surcharge. Nobody. You know why? Because the CBI money of which we are not getting our share, the Prime Minister uses that to pay the fuel surcharge for everybody in St. Kitts. Everybody in St. Kitts. But not a cent has come to Nevis to assist the people of Nevis. And that is why we are asking for our fair share, so that we too can cover all the people of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, I would have listened to the PLP platform regularly. You listen to all the speakers. All of them had says what they're going to do in their constituency if they should win. None of them has ever mentioned the name Nevis. Not one of them. None of them has ever mentioned the name Nevis. But the NRP is supporting that. As a matter of fact, the Labour Party put out the song, get rid of all of them, meaning the PLP, the Team Unity government that was there before, which consists of the three divisions as well. And they're saying to get rid of all of them. And you know the NRP take that team song and is playing it that on the campaign trail. They're using that. They don't even realize that Labour is saying get rid of Nevis as well. But they're using the same song. But we're accustomed to having the NRP on the wrong side of Nevis. I am saying to you, the good people of St. Thomas's Parish, you have a decision to make. And the decision is about Nevis going forward or going backward. It's not about CCM and it's not about NRP. It is all about you ensuring that your country gets its fair share and that your country continue to go from strength to strength. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of speakers lined up for you this evening. And unfortunately, we are mixing politics with culturama. So we want to move as quickly as possible so that you could get a chance to go and witness some of the action in town, the so-called monarchists tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to call into the podium to address you this evening, the Honorable Spencer Brand.
Would you stand up and see your country dying and never lend a helping hand? Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency?
Thank you very much, Mr. DJ. Thank you very much, King, Kevis, and that Scarborough. Good evening, Cotton Ground. Let me say a very pleasant good evening to all those who are listening and viewing this CCM meeting here in the heart of Cotton Ground tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the heart of the Culturama celebration. And we are also on the home stretch of the campaign for this federal election. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, over the last day or so, I believe that the entire island of Nevis have been a bit down because a few nights ago, in the early morning, we would have heard of this sad and tragic accident in the Jessops area. And ladies and gentlemen, we would have lost in that accident a young, vibrant, talented young lady. A young lady whose family hails from my constituency in St. Paul's, Charlestown. And I want to take this opportunity on behalf of my wife and family to extend my deepest condolences to the family of young Natalia Roberts. I believe that in the midst of life, death can spring upon us. And while none of us is always or often prepared for it, it is always a shock and a sad occurrence. And I want to say to the family tonight, the mother, the father, the grandmother, the entire family, how saddened we are of their loss. And I hope that our Creator God would grant them some comfort in this very difficult and trying period. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why are we here in this campaign for this federal election? Why are we having a campaign 3 years ahead of schedule? Why is it that the people of Nevis and the people of St. Kitts must once again be called upon to go to the polls to elect a federal government? I am saying to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we ought not to have been at this juncture. We ought not to have been engaged or engaging in this federal campaign, ladies and gentlemen, if the outgoing Prime Minister were only true to his word and true to his commitment. The world would have witnessed the signing of the Charlestown Accord in 2014. An accord which saw the coming together of three political parties, PLP on St. Kitts, PAM on St. Kitts, and the Concerned Citizens Movement Party on Nevis. And in that Charlestown Accord, it spelled out how the islands of St. Kitts and Nevis would be governed. It specifically speaks to the equitable sharing of our CBI monies. It also, ladies and gentlemen, ensured that the current Prime Minister would be the Prime Minister for 2 consecutive terms. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the Concerned Citizen Movement Party would have kept their side of the bargain. I believe that the People's Action Movement would have kept their side of the bargain. But sadly, we are here to say to you that the Prime Minister and the PLP would not have kept their side of the bargain in its entirety. And sadly, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, we have been called upon to decide once again who will form the next government of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The Concerned Citizens Movement Party have made it elusively clear that they are prepared to work with the People's Action Movement to ensure that these 2 beautiful islands can see a government that is responsive and that is responsible to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so we are at this juncture once again. I want to say to the people of Cotton Ground tonight that in 2020, you would have turned out in your numbers and ensured that for the first time, the Concerned Citizens Movement Party's candidate in the person of Honorable Alexis Jeffers would have received your overwhelming support at the polls. I am saying to the people of Cotton Ground once again, on the 5th of August, we are calling upon you to go to the polls and ensure that you give your overwhelming support once again to the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. I am calling upon the entire population of St. Thomas's, from Quadacode all the way over. I am calling upon you to ensure that you go out in your numbers and vote for the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Stick with Alexis, because I can guarantee you that he will stick with you, St. Thomas's. And ladies and gentlemen, in Nevis number 11, we have the second part of Nevis number 11. St. James's side. We are calling upon you as well to ensure that you give your overwhelming support, as you often do, to the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. So when we combine St. Thomas's and St. James's for Nevis number 11, we want you to send to Bastia the Honorable Alexis Jeffers as your representative at the federal level. In Nevis number 10, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Honorable Evelyn as your candidate. And I'm calling upon the people of St. George's, Gingerland, to ensure that when you go to the polls on the 5th of August, to vote overwhelmingly for the Honorable Evelyn.
We sticking with we CCM party to fight for Green City. We sticking with we CCM.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Nevis number 9, we are saying to you that we are offering to you the Premier of the country, the Honorable Mark Brantley, as our candidate. And we are saying to St. Paul's and St. John's, that makes up Nevis number 9, to go to the polls on the 5th of August and give your overwhelming support to the Honorable Mark Brantley. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very critical election. It is a critical election because it will determine the future development of the island of Nevis. We are seeing on St. Kitts that monies are being spent left, right, and center to see the development of St. Kitts. But why is it that the government of Nevis must go to the commercial banks and raise financing to do development on the island of Nevis? I say to you tonight that that is not fair and that is not right. The people of Nevis must have the same access to our CBI monies as those on St. Kitts. And ladies and gentlemen, we have had a long struggle for the rights and the fair share for the island of Nevis. This has been a struggle for many decades. The political party that have had a stranglehold right here in Cotton Ground for many years started that struggle under one of your most favorite sons that hail from Barnscott, Dr. the Honorable Simeon Daniel, our national hero. You would have given your support to Dr. Daniel over the years. But I'm saying to you tonight that even Dr. Daniel in his last days would have said to the world that he wants the people of Nevis to support the Concerned Citizens Movement Party because it is the only political party that is standing up for Nevis.
On election day, we're gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote in CCM.
St. Thomas's. Tonight, we are bringing to you this simple message. St. James's, we are bringing to you this simple message. Nevis number 11, we are bringing to you this simple message. Vote for your country on the 5th of August. This ought not to have been a fight between the Nevis Reformation Party and CCM. It ought to have been one voice for the island of Nevis, where CCM and NRP combine their voices together and stand up for the island of Nevis. But that is not the case. The NRP, on the other hand, is working with the political party on St. Kitts to deprive the people of Nevis and the island of Nevis its fair share. And I want you on the 5th of August, ladies and gentlemen, to send a clear message to the Nevis Reformation Party that enough is enough. I want you on the 5th of August to send an indescribable message to the Nevis Reformation Party that it is time that they put country above self and stand up for the island of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are trying to combine this political meeting and Conchorama together. If you notice, I would have stood in the rain because I do not want to lose any time tonight at this meeting. I am saying to you, the people of Nevis, number 11, give your support to the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Stand with him and ensure that you have a representative in Bastia that will look out for your interests. Ladies and gentlemen, we are asking you to ensure that when the numbers are tallied, that when all of the numbers are counted in Nevis number 9, 10, and 11, that your CCM candidates will be the representatives in Bastia. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appeal to you. I want to beseech you tonight. I want to encourage you tonight. I want to say to you that if you have never voted for CCM before, I want you on the 5th of August to go to the polls and vote for your CCM party. It is the only political party on the island of Nevis that is standing up for the rights and the freedom of your beloved land. Now, ladies and gentlemen, much has been said on this campaign. Much has been said. And I want to say to you tonight that one of the NRP candidates in Nevis number 9 would have made some statements throughout this campaign. And one of those statements, ladies and gentlemen, is that she would have said and proclaimed to the world that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party has made the argument for Nevis's fair share. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that statement. That the NRP candidate in Nevis number 9 has proclaimed to the world that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party has made the argument for Nevis's fair share. But I want you to ask yourselves a few questions. What are the fundamental principles when it comes to Nevis's fair share? What is the message from CCM when we get on this platform and we speak about Nevis's fair share? I want to say to you, there are two fundamental principles, ladies and gentlemen. One of which is that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party is the only political party on the island of Nevis that is capable and competent enough to deliver the fair share for the island of Nevis. So the NRP candidate in Nevis number 9 is in agreement with that. The other fundamental principle in the argument for our fair share is that we are proposing that the 3 CCM representatives are the ones who are more capable and competent to deliver that fair share. It therefore means, ladies and gentlemen, that the NRP candidate in Nevis number 9 is in agreement with the CCM party. She went on a bit further and she said, by strengthening CCM's argument, she went on and she said that if by chance that she were to win and she's been asked to form the government in Bastia, she would not take any portfolio.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
No, Mr. So, she says so. I want you to listen to that again.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to me very carefully. Because the candidate of the Nevis Reformation Party is saying to the world that if by chance that she were to win and asked to form the government, she do not want any portfolio. Well, I want to say to all of us, this is a competition. This is a contest. This is a fight for the island and the people of Nevis. You are asking the people of Nevis to give you a chance for you to be a representative in Bastia so that you can deliver tangible, meaningful deliverables for the island of Nevis and for the people of Nevis. And here it is. The good lady is saying, if by chance she would not want any portfolio.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them.
My message to the people of Cotton Ground is very simple, therefore. My message to the people of Nevis, number 11, Nevis number 10, and Nevis number 9. With that kind of thinking, with that kind of proclamation to the world, I want you to go to the polls on the 5th of August and vote overwhelmingly for your Concerned Citizens Movement Party. Because your CCM candidates are saying to you that when they go to Bastia, they not only want a portfolio, they want substantial portfolios that will ensure that the island of Nevis see meaningful and tangible development. But they don't want that. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I believe that the CCM have made the argument. I believe that your CCM party continues to make the argument that the Nevis Reformation Party not ready yet. They're not ready for the big time yet. I am saying to you tonight, you have a track record in the Honorable Mark Brantley. You have a track record in the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. You have a track record in the Honorable Evelyn. So on the 5th of August, ladies and gentlemen, there is only one choice in this election. That is the Concerned Citizen Movement Party as the next representative for the people of Nevis and the island of Nevis. Thank you and good night.
We're gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote to CCM. On election day, we're gonna bang them. It's only one choice. We vote to CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. Who we voting for? On election day, we're gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote to CCM.
Thank you, the Honorable Spencer Brand. You know, when I prayed earlier, I thank the good Lord for the showers of blessings. I also want to thank the Honorable Spencer Brand for standing firm through all that showers of blessings. I mean, it shows real commitment and real determination on behalf of the Honorable Spencer Brand. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, because we're watching the weather and we know you want to go and celebrate. Without further ado, I want to call to the podium to address you this evening, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, the Honorable Eric Evelyn.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them. No mix we up in the drama them. You see the next team a scammer them. Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them. No mix we up in the drama them. You see the next team a scammer them. Now if we vote for no losing team. Now if we vote for no losing team. Now it's me vote for no green team. Now it's me vote for no green team. CCM massively sharing hammer. CCM massively sharing hammer.
Good night, Cotton Ground. It is indeed wonderful to be here with you tonight as the countdown continues to the 5th day of August 2022. Of course, we are here tonight and we are here in the middle of Culturama. We are right on the cusp of the Culturama weekend. And we have to be mixing the Culturama with campaigning. And I think we have been doing it quite well. It has been a better mix than we expected. And The cultural activities have to continue, but the message must, absolutely must go out to Cotton Ground, to Nevis 11, Nevis 9, and Nevis 10. I want to say good night to all of the fine folks who are here and who are listening us from the comfort of their homes. And of course, those who are joining us via radio and online. I want to say a special welcome to all of the Nevisians who are returning home for the Culturama Festival and who will be staying back to ensure that the Concerned Citizens Movement claims that victory come the 5th of August. We want to say good night to all of the fine folks as well who have been receiving us throughout the length and breadth of Nevis. Of course, for the past couple of weeks, we have been pounding the pavement. We have been walking through the length and breadth of Nevis, taking that message. And we want to thank you for so warmly welcoming us. Of course, you would have heard from the Honorable Spencer Brand a while ago. And I just want the people of Nevis to realize the kind of metal that your men of the Concerned Citizens Movement is made of. The Honorable Spencer Brand stood here in all that rain because he wanted to make sure that the people get the message. Rain or no rain. I don't plan to be very long tonight because, of course, we know we have a show in town for Culturama. And, of course, we want people to enjoy the festivities. But at the same time, we want you to get the message. We're here in Cotton Ground tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because we're here to support our man for this area, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Cotton Ground, you made history in 2020. You made a bold statement in June of 2020. And we want you to make an even bolder statement in August of 2022. Just a short 2 years after, we are coming back to you because we absolutely had to. Of course, in a short 2 years, your man who you sent to Bastia to do the job at the federal level has done an amazing job in Bastia representing the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I speak of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I believe that you made such a bold statement in 2020 for the Honorable Alexis Jeffers because you saw what Alexis is capable of. You saw what he has been capable of in the Nevis Island administration. And that is why you decided, listen, we will put our trust and confidence in Alexis and we will send him to Bastia. Alexis and the Nevis Island administration has been working overtime to ensure that there is meaningful development in Nevis 11. And this evening we're here in St. Thomas's. And lots of things has happened in St. Thomas's. Of course, right there at the entrance of St. Thomas's, the Malcolm Gishard Park, widely utilized. A fantastic park. Here in St. Thomas's, ladies and gentlemen, you have an international bank right there to the right of us. Of course, when the Island Main Road started, it started right here in Cotton Ground. When you go up the road, a wonderful housing project up there at Cohoons. Your man, Alexis Jeffers, has been working overtime to bring development to Nevis 11, including St. Thomas's, and for the island of Nevis on a whole. And so Alexis has proven himself as an excellent minister. They call him the hardest working minister. And he has gone over to Bastia St. Kitts at the federal level, and he has not relented. He has continued to work and work well. As the Minister of Agriculture in St. Kitts, he has done what not many or no other Minister of Agriculture at the federal level has done. He has taken the bull by the horn. He has rolled up his sleeve and he has revolutionized the agricultural sector on the island of St. Kitts. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if Alexis can do so much in 2 short years, just imagine what he can do with a full term of 5 years.
I'm jamming with the big blue machine.
And that is exactly what Alexis, myself, and Mark will be doing when we get back to Bastia. We will be increasing the momentum for the people of Nevis.
Increase the momentum.
We will be increasing the momentum and asking for what belongs to Nevis. Of course, throughout this campaign, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard what our consistent message has been. And you will continue to hear that message until we go to the polls come the 5th of August. We have been telling the people of Nevis that we are the only party. And let me repeat that. The only party on the island of Nevis that continues to stand for the people. We are the only party that continues to stand for Nevis. And that is why you have been hearing this message night after night after night. You have been hearing, ladies and gentlemen, about the fair share issue. And that is an issue we should never, ever lose sight of. It is a very crucial issue, ladies and gentlemen, in this election. Very, very crucial. You know, I was doing some canvassing today in my constituency. And when I went and I spoke to a lady, she said to me, you know, Mr. Evelyn, I want to support the CCM in this election. But I don't know whether or not you all will be able to bring to Nevis what is rightfully Nevis's share. She said, you all were in a coalition and it failed. What is the guarantee that now you want to enter into another one, that it will not fail? There are no guarantees. But it is important that Nevis, and it is important that strong and committed representatives are sitting at the federal table. Unless you have representatives from Nevis who sit in the federal cabinet and are able to represent the people of Nevis and to represent the needs of the island of Nevis, we won't get what we want and what is ours. And so it is important that you send us back to Bastia for us to continue that representation. The Honorable Mark Brantley would have started the representation several years ago, 7 years ago. And you, the people of Nevis, have been fortunate in sending myself and Alexis to join Mark to continue that fight for Nevis. And so we are telling you that we, the 3 Hebrew boys, Alexis, myself, and the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, we will continue to press on for Nevis. We will continue to fight the good fight for Nevis and Nevisians. We will continue to make sure that we get from the CBI. We get from the CBI, not the pittance, not the dregs, not the crumbs that we have been accustomed to getting over the years. We want our 25%, not 7%. And I can tell you, I can boldly state that once you have these 3 representatives of the CCM at the federal level, your needs will always come first. Ladies and gentlemen of Cotton Ground, as I said in 2020, you voted overwhelmingly for Alexis. We want, on the night of the 5th, when the box in Cotton Ground is counted, we want Alexis to be ahead by at least 50 votes or more. We know that when the count starts in Craddock Road, we are going to be looking very good there. And we want you to join the band of Nevisians and residents, the voters of Nevis, who will be casting their vote for the CCM.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM.
Cotton Ground, don't let us down. We will not let you down. Cotton Ground and the surrounding areas, we are asking you, please go out on election day and vote for Alexis Jeffers. Up in Nevis, 9, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And of course, we know Mark is the sheriff. And every election, the margin of victory for the Honorable Mark Brantley continues to grow. I got a call today from one of my friends in St. Kitts who supports the People's Action Movement. And he said, Eric, I'm hearing some crazy things down here that only you're going to win your seat in Nevis. I said, boy, what kind of craziness do you talk? Can nothing tall go so? Mark will continue to increase his margin in 2022. And I am expecting to increase my margin in 2022 as well. And so we are sure that 9 will be in the bag for CCM. We are sure that 10 will be in the bag for CCM. And you must ensure the people of St. Thomas's, the people of Nevis 11, that number 11 will be in the bag for CCM. We cannot do it without your support.
At the next side, are you the try and lose? At the next side, are you the try and lose?
That is exactly what we'll be asking the next side on the night of August the 5th. Bright and early.
Are you the try and lose? At the next side, are you the try and lose?
Bright and early, Saturday the 6th of August. That will be the refrain on the tongues of all who reside on Nevis. Are you not tired, lose? Including the people of Cotton Ground. Don't be afraid to ask them if they ain't tired, lose. Because lose is what they will come the 5th of August. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw closer to the election date, because the days are running, we are now into the weekend. And of course, we know on Monday and Tuesday, those are 2 public holidays. And after that, we have only Wednesday and Thursday before Friday. I want to just quickly, as I am about to wrap up, just remind us all that you should ensure that you have an ID ready and on hand to take to the polls with you. Because a lot of people have been asking, as the days get closer, people have been asking, if I don't have my voter ID, if I can't find my voter ID, if my voter ID is expired. Those are some very relevant questions which I am getting on a daily basis. So if you cannot find your voter's ID, if your voter ID is expired, once you are registered to vote, you will be allowed to cast your vote on election day. If you have your driver's license, if you have your St. Kitts Nevis passport, if you have your social security card, and I also understand that even a birth certificate will suffice. We need all of the votes. And irrespective of whether or not your voter ID is in good standing, show up at the polls with a national ID card and cast your vote for the CCM. Another question that many persons have been asking, where will I be voting on polling day? As I was canvassing today, that question kept popping up. Where am I supposed to go? I need to know. Well, all you need to do, make sure you stay tuned to the radio, because I believe that most likely many of the polling stations will be the same as of 2020. So if in 2020 you voted at the Cotton Ground Community Center, most likely, and I said most likely, there is where you will be voting again. But please stay tuned, because we don't want any mix-up come polling day. We want everyone to be out in their numbers, and we want you to go out early and get the job done for the CCM.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice.
And
we vote for CCM.
let me reiterate how important this election is. This federal election is extremely crucial, and we need every possible vote that we can get. So when you're going, take your family, take your friends, get the job done. Vote for Alexis Jeffers here in Nevis 11. Ladies and gentlemen, our message is clear. Our message is resonating across the island of Nevis. And we absolutely must vote for the 3 Hebrew boys, the three men who have a clean record, who are running on their record, ladies and gentlemen. And we want you, as we stand with you, please stand with us come the 5th of August. Ladies and gentlemen, in Nevis 9, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. In Nevis 10, yours truly, Eric Evelyn. In Nevis 11, go out, Cotton Ground, go out 11, and vote overwhelmingly for Alexis Jeffers. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Culturama and make sure that you are sober come the 5th of August to vote for the CCM. Thank you. Good night. God bless you.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote for CCM. On election day, we gonna bang them. It's only one choice. We vote for CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. Who we voting for? CCM. CCM. Who we voting for? CCM.
Thank you very much, Honorable Eric Evelyn. And you know, Eric outlined a number of things that Alexis has done here in St. Thomas's Parish. We all know what he has done in St. James's Parish. And because of what he has done in St. James's Parish, he's going to be winning that area by well over 200 votes. And what does that mean? I want to say to you, the good people of Cotton Ground, that the NRP sabotage my
Sticking with we CCM party to fight for Green City. We sticking with we CCM party to remove Timothy. To get we SIDF money.
We sticking with CCM.
We're going to battle with the same tree.
We sticking with CCM.
Alexis Evelyn and Brantley.
We sticking with CCM.
There's no other choice that I see.
We sticking with CCM.
We sticking with CCM.
Increase the momentum.
Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Remember, the party that has been looking out for the best interests of divisions, CCM party, making sure we get our full share of the SIDF money. We sticking with we CCM party, the blue machine ready. We sticking with we CCM party to bring prosperity.
Increase the momentum. We jamming with the big blue machine. We rolling with the big blue machine.
CCM, tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch on the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your body finger. Show me your body finger. Show me your body finger. Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up.
Are you not tired lose? I see next side. Are you not tired lose? I see next side. Are you not tired lose? I see next side. Are you not tired? We rolling with the big blue machine. We sticking with the big blue machine. We winning with the big blue machine. We jamming with the big blue machine. I see next side. I see next side. Are you not tired lose? Are you not tired lose? I see next side. I see next side. Are you not tired lose? Are you not tired lose? Sticking with the big blue machine. We jamming with the big blue machine.
My name is Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis. We have employed state-of-the-art technology using fiber optic cable across the island of Nevis and using CCTV surveillance. The idea here is a commitment from my government to have a safer and more secure island for our citizens and residents. And so this was a massive investment made by us in running fiber optic cable across the island and putting in cameras and in commissioning just recently this center, which acts as a nerve center for the entire system island-wide. We are taking and using technology to take security to the next level here on the island of Nevis, and we're very proud about this collaboration that we've done to create for the island a much safer and secure environment. My name is Mark Brantley, and I'm the proud leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement and the exceedingly proud representative of the people of District 9, comprising the parishes of St. John's and St. Paul's. Since 2007, the people of Number 9 have voted for me consistently and have sent me to Bastille. Election after election, they have reposed their trust and confidence in me. Some say, why should we send you to Bastille? I think the answer is simple, that in me you have someone who is committed, someone who's dedicated, and someone who's strong. Someone who will stand up in Bastille for what is best for my constituents and best for the island of Nevis.
My name is Alexis Jeffers, and I am the proud representative of Nevis 11, which includes St. Thomas and St. James. I have been the representative of this proud constituency since June of 2020. You have said in the past that you needed quality representation.
Behind, they could never catch up. There was the sound.
supporting Nevis. We don't want you in we business.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
We fighting for we fair share, and it look like you don't care.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
We voting for unity with the CCM party.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
You let them bounce we check already when you join the Labour Party.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
Now you teaming up with PLP to undermine Queen City.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
All you tell them is problem if they sabotage me again.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
This election is about patriotism, not favoritism.
Go home and happy,
Sing!
stop disturbing our way.
We're voting for Alexis, for Eric, for Brantley.
Go home and happy,
Sing!
disturbing our way.
We must ensure that we speak with one voice, in unity.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
All you tell them I say,
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
tell them get out the way.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
Zoop! Boy, lend me a bullbud, lend me a bullbud.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
Wap! 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 Wap!
Go home and happy,
Take that.
stop disturbing our way.
All you call the ambulance now, call the ambulance.
Go home and happy,
Boom.
stop disturbing our way.
Nurse Mary, come choke them again, choke them again.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
CCM massive, all you sing the chorus.
Go home and happy,
Sing.
stop disturbing our way.
Me don't chat, me not take it back, sir. Boom.
Go home and happy, stop disturbing our way.
There's a snake in the country, and his name is Timothy. Tell that scam divisions want their money. He went and signed the treaty down there by the library. Bowling and division is his daddy. The man is a scoundrel, it's plain to see. I hear he teaming up with the NRP. But give all of them this message from me. CCM is the one who we want to represent we. We sticking with we CCM party, CCM party, to fight for Green City. We sticking with we CCM party, CCM party, to remove Timothy. To get we SIDF money,
We sticking with CCM.
we're going to battle with the same
We
tree.
sticking with CCM.
Alexis, Evelyn and Brantley.
We sticking with CCM.
There's no other choice that I see. We sticking with CCM. We sticking with CCM.
Increase the momentum.
Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Remember, the party that has been looking out for the best interests of divisions. CCM party, making sure we get our full share of the SIDF money. We sticking with we CCM party. CCM party, the blue machine ready. We sticking with we CCM party. CCM party, to bring prosperity. Tell the serpent in PLP,
We sticking with CCM.
he could give NRP the whole treasury.
We sticking with CCM.
The next prime minister he'll never be.
We sticking with CCM.
CCM will be celebrating victory. We sticking with we CCM party. CCM party, the blue machine ready. We sticking with we CCM party. CCM party, the blue machine ready. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Increase.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM. The job will get done now. We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM. The job will get done now.
I want Nevis to be a better country. I want my people to have prosperity. So I will vote for CCM and not Brantley. So when you see with CCM, trust me, it's no problem. They keeping the country strong with the momentum. Other politicians just beat around the problem. So if you want the job get done, give me a call. Then we voted for
1, 2, 1, 2. Well, we're back, folks. We're back, and I want to apologize for the short break due to the fact that we had some technical difficulties. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste any time. Without any further ado, I want to call to the podium to address you this evening the candidate for the Concerned Citizens Movement here in St. James and St. Thomas's Parish, the best candidate to represent you in this upcoming election. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the podium the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
Prince of Darkness walks behind me. But he will never, 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 never control me. Today I live a life of sorrow, working for the joys of a bright tomorrow, carrying my cross.
Thank you very much, DJ. And of course, it's good to be here in Cotton Ground tonight. I believe that we are being heard all over St. Thomas Parish. Starting from over there in Craddock Road, going into Penny's, Jessup's, all the way up in Barnesgard, here in Cotton Ground, over into Westbury, Cohoon, and all those areas. So, you're hearing the voice of the Concerned Citizens Movement. I'm getting hoarse. Of course, we have been campaigning long and hard. That's why it is taking a toll. But be that as it may, we still have a few days left. As a matter of fact, we have just 1 week left. And by this time, August 5th, we probably should be hearing some of the results being announced. And indeed, at the end of August 5th, going into August 6th, we will have a resounding victory in the CCM party in 9, 10, and 11. And yes, we're here in Nevis 11 tonight, Cotton Ground. Right in the heart of Cotton Ground, that is. And it's always good to come to Cotton Ground, of course. Because, you know, this is an area that has always been traditionally an NRP stronghold. And we understand that. I will say to you, though, that if the people of Cotton Ground, St. Thomas's, and the surroundings know that in order to advance this constituency, in order to make sure that you receive what you truly deserve, in order to ensure that you get good representation, you would have had to look in a different direction. And indeed, the numbers are suggesting to me that the people of the whole of St. Thomas Parish are now looking towards the CCM for true representation. And that is a good thing, because we have said that CCM represents the best that this island has to offer in terms of a political party. I stand here tonight and I can proudly say that I am pleased with the decision that I would have made years ago to join this great party. And the CCM has proven that it is the best thing for the island of Nevis. Many may come and say they are best for Nevis. And I've said to you time and time again, when the NRP come and say they are the best for Nevis, I am saying to you that they're the best thing to keep away from. It's best to keep away from them. And I don't want to get into any NRP talk tonight, but we must do so anyway. The reason being, we are competing in an election where two parties are being asked, or asking you to make a decision. Two parties, and I'm not thinking about the other one that is running, because as far as I am concerned, you have two parties that are running in this election. Two parties with full slates of candidates. And I want to say to you that when you go to the polls and you're asked to make that decision, the choice should be easy. Very, very easy. Because on one hand, you have a party that is standing up for the island of Nevis. And on the other hand, you have a party that has always gone against what is good for the island of Nevis. And you know, when I came here tonight, I walked up there to get under the tent. And oh my goodness, I bump into a board I see there. And many may say, maybe I bumped into the board. And when I looked up, it reminded me of something. It says something about $400 million on it. But if I were to stand some distance away, I can't read nothing else. But you know, the people of Cotton Ground must understand that the NRP has the same playbook that they use for every election. They look for an issue that they feel they can put out there that would cause the people of Nevis to gravitate to that issue. But that issue has nothing attached to it that would suggest to me it's good for Nevis. You all remember those billboards that popped up all around Nevis talking about 80 acres? They were all up and down Nevis, down at the bottom of Jessop's. I believe you had one here in Cotton Ground as well, but I can recall the one that was in Jessop's. He was there even after the elections of 2006, I believe almost a year later. And when the NRP was done with that election, and we found out that it was a scam that was run on the people of Nevis. It was a con job that was done on the people of Nevis. You understood why they said that don't do its job. Destroy the life of a Nevision, a quintessential Nevision, who would have done so much to build this island, the Honorable Malcolm Gishard. And all they said when it was all said and done, that they don't do it work. So they come back with billboards again with $400 million written on it. And I want to say to the NRP, not this time. It will not happen this time. Never again are you going to fool the people of Cotton Ground. Never again are you going to fool the people of Nevis. And I am going to say to you, the CCM will stand in the way of anyone who wants to mislead the people of Nevis.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM.
You see this 400 million story they're talking about? I will say to you tonight that the CCM would have gone to Bastille and championed the cause of the people of Nevis. We got $400 million, yes, that is good. But we are saying there must be better, there must be more, because we deserve more, and we will get more. But when you compare the CCM to the NRP, and that is why it's so embarrassing when you see the NRP put up these things. The NRP was in St. Kitts for 20 long years. And of those 20, 5 of those were spent in government. And if we brought back $400 million in the last 7 years, over those years the NRP was in St. Kitts representing the people of Nevis, so they say, they brought back nothing. Absolutely nothing. And nobody tell me about no loan. We can talk about the loan. But the monies that we brought back were monies that were derived from the sale of the St. Kitts Nevis passport. The NRP brought back nothing. They brought back a loan. And I will say to you tonight, if they have proven that they cannot represent you, if they have proven that they cannot bring back anything to the people of Nevis, well, why would you want to vote for them again? Well, they have already said clearly that they would go to Basti and they don't want no portfolio. When you say you don't want any portfolio, it therefore means that you're not willing to go down to represent. It means that you're not willing to go down to work for the people of Nevis. So if you're not willing to do that, well, I am saying to the people of Cotton Ground, when they not become a calling, send them packing. When they come and ask for your vote, send them packing. Because 400 million was brought to this island, and I can say to you, infrastructural development took place. All sorts of projects were undertaken by your CCM government. The Early Water Taxi Facility, the Joycelyn Liebert Kitchen, the expansion of the veterinary clinic, the expansion of the abattoir up there at Prospect, the extension of the tender pier there in Charlestown. We also built the new treasury there in Charlestown, the expansion of the Alexandra Hospital. The Newcastle Police Station. Well, listen, all of you in the audience can actually tell me something that $400 million would have done. And don't forget that in 2020, we were hit by a global pandemic. It therefore means that the revenue stream of the Nevis Island administration was severely cut and curtailed by the fact that we were not collecting the amount of taxes that we were hoping to collect.
So it therefore means that those monies that came over as budgetary support were used to finance the Nevis Island administration. We were also able to deliver all of our social programs here on the island of Nevis. So when you ask for 400 million gone, even the NRP benefit, all of them benefited from it. But it's disingenuous for them to come and say, where has 400 million gone? Well, I want to say to them that the people of Cotton Ground and the people of Nevis have made up their mind that because the CCM have gone and have performed, the CCM will be the party. In 9, 10, and 11, all three will be going back to Basti again. Because we have proven we can represent. So if you got nothing, and you're coming back to the people of Nevis to say vote for you, that is the NRP, that is. You got nothing. You want to go back again. It means you'll bring nothing again. Because you have proven time and time again that you're not willing to stand up for the people of Nevis and the island of Nevis. But speaking of what they got when they went there in terms of a loan, I said I'll come back to it. Could you imagine? One day we wake up in this island and we hear the Van Zambri International Airport was handed over. It was mortgaged, yes. But you could imagine getting up one morning and you hear that the SIDF owns the airport. What the NRP would have done, they went and took a loan of $4 million. And they put up that airport, the Van Zambri International Airport, as security on that loan. So they mortgaged the airport. And in truth and in fact, that is something that continues to bother me. Because we didn't understand what the $4 million was for at that point in time. Only to find out when we got into government, $400 million, it was split up, sent through all kind of accounts, and ended up in the Yarwood's hand. It was a means of paying out the Yarwoods. So the people of Nevis didn't benefit in any way, but our prized possession, our real estate, something that is important to the island of Nevis, was mortgaged to ensure that a party supporter got what he was asking for. $4 million, that's all they brought. And if the people of Cotton Ground were to understand what went on then, they would tell themselves that if you're seeking to vote for representatives who will be transparent, who will be decent about their approach to governance, then of course the NRP do not fit in that category. And that's why we are saying tonight that the CCM must be and will always be the best choice for the island of Nevis. And we want to thank the people of Cotton Ground for what you did in 2020. In 2020, when we brought the message to the people of Cotton Ground, you went out and voted in overwhelming fashion to suggest to me and the people of Nevis that you yourself wanted to make that change. And you didn't make that change.
We sticking with CCM party, to fight for Green City.
But we are back again. And it is not 5 years since we've been here. Just 2 years. But the people must understand, and we must be clear about this. We didn't go down to St. Kitts to mash up anything. We didn't go down to St. Kitts to fight with anyone. We went down to St. Kitts and we said that we have been voted by the people of Nevis to come down and represent the island of Nevis and to get what is rightfully ours from the CBI receipts. What we have seen over at least the last 15 to 20 years, is that Nevis have been severely robbed by the previous administrations in St. Kitts. And when you heard before that we have only derived 7% out of the total receipts of the CBI program, 7%, when in truth and in fact, Nevis represent just about 24% of the population. So it therefore means that any receipts, we should be getting 24% of that. We must understand that we are full-fledged Nevisians. We are full-fledged citizens of this federation. And as such, we must receive what we are deserving as citizens of this federation. So ladies and gentlemen, we have said that you should vote for us in these upcoming elections so that we can form a real unity administration in St. Kitts that is willing to work with the representatives from Nevis, that the representatives from Nevis are willing to work with our partners in St. Kitts. We want true unity. We want government that is willing to sit down and negotiate among ourselves. We want a government that is willing to put people first and to understand that when we are governing, it is not about ourselves. It is not about ourselves, but it is about the people who we represent. And that is where maturity in leadership comes into play. And in the CCM, you see true leadership. True leadership in the Honorable Mark Brantley. True leadership in the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And true leadership in myself. We are a serious party. We are a serious people. And when you look at what is coming from the other side, you have to compare both parties. You have to compare the representative or the candidate of both parties. And when you do so, you'll say, Mark Brantley as the leader, compared to the leader of the NRP, and you know there is no comparison. You know there's no comparison. And if you want to compare me against the candidate that is running against Mark Brantley, of course, there's absolutely no comparison. Well, Eric is running against a gentleman from all the way up there in Basgat who have gone up to Gingerland. I don't even want to say what exists there. Eric is running against himself up there as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned. And that is why I say when you look at the candidates, you have to look at serious people who are coming to you and persons who are willing to stand up for you and to represent you in a fashion that you truly deserve. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been hearing all along, $400 million. You're going back to Bastia. What you would do if you were to get additional funds? Well, listen, all over Nevis, there are things to be done. There is infrastructural development to be done throughout the island of Nevis, meaning road construction. Indeed, from here in Cliff Dwellers all the way up to Newcastle has to be done. All the way up into Fountain Mount Lily, come down to Westbury. There are roads here in Cotton Ground to be done. Roads in Jessup. Roads up there in St. Paul's Parish, over in St. John's, up in Gingerland. So, you know, there's a lot of roads still left to be done in this island. So money is needed for that. You have heard me say from time to time that I am a big advocate for housing in this island. We've had a huge demand for housing in Nevis. As a matter of fact, right here in Cotton Ground, we also have a huge demand for housing. The difficulty we have in Cotton Ground is that the government do not own any lands here. And we have been talking to landowners in the area. And we want to get their assistance in this regard. Because we want to construct houses for the young men and young women here in Cotton Ground. Many of you who currently live here want to stay here to develop the village of Cotton Ground, to develop the constituency of St. Thomas, and to develop the island of Nevis. But we want you to stay here, to raise your family here. And as such, I have said to the Premier that once we start receiving our fair share, thank you. When we start receiving our fair share, housing will be a major part of our initiatives going forward. And so Cotton Ground will be the beneficiary of that. Because we want to build houses here. We want to duplicate what we have done up there at Coon. Phase 1 and Phase 2. And those houses look lovely, and we want to duplicate that as we're here in Cotton Ground and in St. Thomas Parish. Because as I said, I want you to stay here, raise your family here, and to contribute to the development of your own community. And that is what we're about. As a matter of fact, we'll spread out the whole of the island. We'll take housing throughout every parish here on the island of Nevis. We have done it before, and we know we can do it again. As a matter of fact, we have done it with $25 million back in 2016, and over 81 persons or families were the recipient of houses throughout the island of Nevis. What we are going to do differently this time is that instead of making your mortgage payment between $1,000 to $1,200, we'll bring it under $1,000 and make it somewhere between $800 to $1,000. We want to ensure that you're able to hold that key in your hand, shake that key and say you own a home. And that's what you do for your people. But not only that, you have heard the Premier said, and it bears repeating, It bears repeating. The Premier has said that his main goal is to ensure those social programs that currently exist, meaning the poverty alleviation program, also the STEP program. He has said that he wants those to be handled right here in Nevis. Who knows the people of Nevis more than we as Nevisians? No one knows the people of Nevis better than we do. We know the vulnerable among us. We know those who require assistance. And we know those who can benefit accordingly. And that is why we are saying that instead of us sending applications to send kits for someone who don't know Tom Jones or Mary Jones, those who don't know these people cannot make a decision on their behalf. And we've been advocating for a long time. But you see, when persons want to dictate what happens and who gets, that is what happens in that situation. I want to say we want to change that around. We want to ensure that we can reach the most vulnerable among us. And that's why Nevis must be in charge of its own social programs. Even with this peace initiative, we believe it can be retooled to be better for our young men and young women. We believe that program can be beneficial to all of our young men. Instead of paying persons weekly, we want to turn them into entrepreneurs. We want to be able to put funds aside so that they can tap into those funds, start a business, provide for themselves, provide for their families, employ persons, expand the tax base here in Nevis, and then contribute back to that revolving fund so other persons can benefit. And so we'll put the necessary infrastructure in place so that every young man who is able to benefit can benefit. Not just giving a handout, but giving a hand up in terms of ensuring that they're able to provide for themselves. That is how you build communities, strong men, strong women, so that they can provide for this country going into the future. Not just a two-day thing. You can give a man $400 today and next week, but when it's all said and done, where is the sustainability in that? There's none. And so you have to start thinking big and start thinking long term. Y'all ain't gonna make me get no wet up here and get no cold, you know. But yes, you have to think about the sustainability of these programs and the betterment of our young people. So ladies and gentlemen, when we come to you and we ask you to vote for us, when we ask you to send us to work for you, we do so knowing that you repose your trust and confidence in us. And as such, we will reciprocate that to ensure that we provide for you. Provide for Cotton Road. Provide for St. Thomas Parish. Provide for St. James. Provide for St. George's, St. Paul's and St. John's. The whole of Nevis. That is what we'll do.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote to CCM.
And so I want to say to the people of Cotton Ground, the people of Nevis 11, 2 years ago you voted for me. And 2 years ago you did so in an overwhelming fashion. I want to say that gone are the days when we come out of St. Thomas's behind by 300 votes. It ain't gonna happen again. It can't happen again, and it should not happen again. Because you have now turned the corner and said that you're looking for serious representation. So when we come out of Craddock Road, we made history there back in 2015 when the CCM for the first time would have won that box. We repeated.
Side, are you gonna try and lose? At the next side, are you gonna try and lose?
We repeated that again in 2020. And then we come into Jessop's. We have certainly narrowed the margin in Jessup. This time we want to get even closer. But I want to say to the people of Jessop's, the CCM is your best choice in these elections. When you go to the polls, you're not voting for CCM, you're not voting for NRP, you're not voting for blue, you're not voting for green, you're voting for the Queen of the Caribbean. You're voting for Nevis. And yes, the CCM is going to be the beneficiary of your vote. But I want you to think about the island of Nevis when you vote in Jessop's. The same thing here in Cotton Ground, Westbury, Clifton Estates. When you vote, you're voting for the island of Nevis, but the CCM will be the beneficiary of that vote. Because we are saying to you that there's no need for you to send a divided voice to St. Kitts. Over the years, you've had two CCM representatives. You've had a lone NRP. And as a matter of fact, that lone NRP over the years have stood up in the parliament in St. Kitts and said Nevis don't want nothing. And the people of St. Kitts who sits in parliament would laugh. They would knock their thing. Ho, 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 ho. The Nevis man said nothing is needed over there. That is the worst type of representation you'd have had. You think I could stand up in Basti and say such thing? Or you stand up in Basti and say, listen, my first thinking and my first speech and my first action should always include the island of Nevis. I could recall one time in cabinet in St. Kitts, my loyalty was questioned. And I'm going to say it. Who is it now? The guy that Juicy. Why is it the Attorney General, Farmer, whatever. Come question my loyalty. Ask me where does my loyalty lies. Well, all I tell him, my friend, at 8:30 in the night, it's very late and I want to go back home. But I'm going to tell you this much. A good lawyer knows the answer to a question before you ask it. So you must know where my loyalty lies. When I leave Nevis to go to Bastia, I was elected by a political space here on the island of Nevis. And once I go across there, my heart and soul is always going to be with the island of Nevis. But I'll go to the federal parliament, to the federal cabinet, and represent the island of Nevis, represent the island of St. Kitts, represent the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But no one should ever question the loyalty of any Nevisian on the island of St. Kitts, because I won't do that to any of them. I will never do that. So when Mark Brantley stands up down there and advocate for Nevis, when Eric stand up and advocate for the island of Nevis, when I stand up and advocate for the island of Nevis, nobody in St. Kitts should have a problem with that. Because when they stand up, they say St. Kitts too. Even though they should be saying St. Kitts and Nevis, they say St. Kitts. And most times I don't have a problem with that. Because they have constituencies just like we do. But when we stand up down there, no one should ever question our loyalty or question where our heart lies. So I don't want to get emotional about that, but I had to impart that. But ladies and gentlemen, your CCM party is ready. Ready for August 5th. And Eric would have laid out certain electoral matters earlier. I want to say to the people of Cotton Ground, go out early and vote. You're going to go out early and vote for the CCM. Early out, we're going to keep them out. Early out, we're going to keep them out. Early out, we're going to keep them out.
On election day,
they're no good for the island of Nevis.
It's only one choice, we vote to CCM.
So early out, we're going to keep them out. And we mean the NRP. Keep them where they be. Far away from government. So I want to say that Nevis 9, you have an excellent candidate and representative there in the Honorable Mark Brantley. He has been your representative in Nevis 9 for the last 15 years thereabout. And every time he goes to the polls, the numbers have increased election after election. So it tells me that the people of St. John's, the people of St. Paul's are very confident with their representative. They're very pleased with their representative. And because they're pleased with the representation that they've gotten, they're going to continue to repose their confidence in the Honorable Mark Brantley. So that is one. You go up to Gingerland, Nevis 10. Eric has said that by the time 9:30 rolls around, he will be done with the election up there and coming to St. James and St. Thomas Parish to help out in the Nevis 11. So I want to thank the people of Gingerland for lending Eric to us early on August 5th. Welcome to Nevis 11, St. James and St. Thomas Parish. I will say to the people of St. Thomas Parish, the people of St. James have always voted resoundingly for the CCM. They did so since 1992. In every election, after election, the CCM has been the party of choice up there. So this time around, you have heard that we'll win St. James by over 300 votes. I want to say to the people of St. Thomas Parish, you have some work to do down here. We want, when we come out of the parish of St. Thomas, that we're not only behind by 8 years last time, but we are ahead this time. We'll erase those 80 votes and then we'll be ahead. So the work down here will be done. The election will be over before you get out of St. Thomas Parish. Because you have to send Alexis Jeffers back to Bastille to represent you as a people. After 20 years of Patrice Nisbet, sorry I call his name, but after 20 years of voting for a representative who did nothing for you, I say it is time to stick with who you want to represent you, and that is Alexis Jeffers. So 9, 10, and 11, let me hear you, says, who got the horn and the bugle and the whistle? Everybody got their stuff. Listen, let us make some noise for how it will sound come August 6th, when you hear the victory bell start to toll in this country. So ladies and gentlemen, I think I've reached my quota for tonight. I want you to send me off the stage in a resounding fashion. I want to leave this message with the people of St. Thomas Parish. Go on out early. Vote for the CCM. Vote for the Hammer. Vote for Alexis Jeffers. Vote for the island of Nevis to continue with the representation that you've had over the last 2 years. I want the people of Nevis 9 to go out and vote for the Honorable Mark Brantley, the man who you have voted for the last 15 years, who have represented you locally, regionally, and internationally. I want the people of Nevis 10 to go out early and vote for Evelyn. Send him to Bastille. By 9:30, I want the job to be done so that he can come and help me. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening here in Cotton Ground. I look forward to a resounding victory down here. I look forward to a resounding victory in Nevis 11. We're not going to come back for another meeting. This is our meeting tonight, and this is the meeting where the message must be heard that you need to go out early and vote for the CCM party. Vote for your island. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my quota for tonight. I want the good Lord to continue to bless this great party. I want the good Lord to continue to bless the island of Nevis and, of course, bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful night.
I'm jamming with the big blue machine. Rolling with the big blue machine.
CCM, tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch on the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your body finger. Your body finger. Show me your body finger. Put them up, put them up, put them up. Show me your body finger. Show me your body finger.
Thank you very much, Honorable Alexis Jeffers. St. Thomas's, St. Thomas's, St. Thomas's. That is your candidate in this upcoming federal election. I said to you earlier that he's going to win St. James's by well over 200 votes. I want to say to you here in St. Thomas's to ensure that he also win the parish of St. Thomas's. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when that lady loses in St. James's by over 200 votes, come the local, she's going to want to come here. She is going to want to come here. And you know what that means. I want to put you on your guard right now. That the plan is, once she loses St. James's in a big way, she will not come back in St. James's for the local elections. Ladies and gentlemen, just by way of information, we will not have any more meetings until Wednesday next week. Due to the Cultural Armor weekend, we shall only have a meeting next week, Wednesday, in the heart of Brooklyn. And then on Thursday, we conclude at the Caribbean Cove in a major way. A big splash at Caribbean Cove. So next week, Wednesday, in the heart of Brooklyn. And then on Thursday, we conclude at Caribbean Cove. We're having some sprinkles right now, but I want to call, if he's ready, on the Honorable, our party leader, our strong leader, the man who will lead us to victory on August 5th, the man who will chart a new course for the island and people of Nevis. Welcome to the podium, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM. The job will get done now. We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM. The job will get done now. I want Nevis me a better country. I want my people to have prosperity.
Well, this is a first for me. I'm on the platform with a yellow umbrella. Cotton Ground, good evening to you. And I want to thank all the people who are viewing and who are listening. It is a rainy night in Cotton Ground, a rainy night in Nevis, but that's good because it means that we're getting God's blessings on our meeting. I want to say good evening to the people here and to tell you how happy I am to be in the great village of Cotton Ground, and how happy I am to be back here where we come from time to time to bring the message of hope, the message of the Concerned Citizens Movement. You have heard from our candidates. I come now, ladies and gentlemen, to speak to you as the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, to speak to the people of Cotton Ground and to say to you, thank you. Thank you for delivering this constituency of number 11 to the Concerned Citizens Movement in 2020. And we are back to ask again for the people of St. Thomas's, the people of Cahoons and Cotton Ground, the people of Jessops, Barnesgut, Westbury, the people of this great parish to join with the people of the great parish of St. James and return the Honorable Alexis Jeffers to office. Now I can tell you that I have been very impressed with the performance of Alexis Jeffers. He has demonstrated that he is committed to the people of Nevis. He has stood up with me and with the Honorable Evelyn when there was some in St. Kitts who sought to disrespect the people of Nevis. And we said, no, that could not happen. And why am I proud of them? I am proud of them because I don't have to look behind. I look to my right side, I look to my left side. I see Eric and I see Alexis, and I know that Nevis in Bastia is strong with the Concerned Citizens Movement. Alexis Jeffers is a strong leader. Alexis Jeffers has stood up for the people of Nevis. I like that he told you tonight about the story of them asking him where his allegiance lay. And he said, of course, his allegiance could only be with the people of Nevis. And we must never forget who sent us. Those are the people that we serve. And Alexis Jeffers went to St. Kitts in less than 2 years, and he transformed agriculture. He was able to reopen the Bayford's farm in St. Kitts that had been shuttered. He rejuvenated for his estate, introduced the night market in St. Kitts. And while he was down there, he made sure that he ensured that the farmers in Nevis got benefits too from the federal government. That is why he was able to distribute some 6 shade houses to farmers in Nevis at a cost of over $60,000 per shade house to ensure that farmers in Nevis got benefits as well from the federal ministry. On the island of Nevis, Alexis Jeffers has transformed agriculture. If you don't believe me, go down to Indian Castle, see the 35-acre fruit orchard that he has created there. Look across the island at the resurgence in agriculture, food security that you see happening on our island. Talk to our farmers who during the pandemic were able to get free fencing, free land preparation, free seeds, free seedlings, free fertilizer, free water. We worked with our farmers, our fishers got free fish pot wire. They came, they got a second roll at 50% discount. Our animal farmers got free feed for their animals. This is a government that cares about people. This is a party that cares about people. And you know, we say in the cabinet, When you want the job done, give it to Alexis. And that is why I have full confidence in his ability and his representation for the people of Cotton Ground, the people of St. Thomas, the people of St. James, the people of Nevis, and the people of the wider Federation. You know, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to housing, we said to Alexis, we want you to revolutionize housing in Nevis. Look at what he was able to do here in Cahoons. Look at the quality. Put all the infrastructure over underground. You don't have no wires hanging up in the section of Cahoons that he was in charge of. I want you to look at the fact that right now on Nevis we have housing projects happening under his watch. In Ghana's, we have housing in Nisbet Settlement. We have housing happening in Craddock Road. We have housing happening in Hamilton. We have housing happening in Cherry Gardens. We have housing happening in Rice's. All happening at the same time under the leadership of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Never before in the history of Nevis has that happened. I'm back under my yellow umbrella. Well, I have to be colorblind because it's look yellow to me. But since you say it is brown, it clearly tells me that the CCM needs to invest in some blue umbrellas. Ladies and gentlemen, I have fullest confidence in Alexis. You see that police station and fire station in Newcastle? If it was not for him standing up, it would not have happened. Because some made the argument that the police did not need a police station in Newcastle. Some made the argument that all that was needed was to buy vehicles for the police in Cotton Ground and Gingerland and let them patrol St. James. And Alexis said no. We had a police station before. One must go back there. And I'm telling you, it is the best police and fire station in the entire Federation. That is the quality of representation that we have had, and that I can assure the people of this great constituency of number 11 we will continue to have. I am confident in this team. I am confident in their love of Nevis. You know, there are some programs that were designed by us in the federal cabinet. I can speak to the peace program. I can speak to the STEP program. I can speak to the PAP, Poverty Alleviation Program. They were all designed by us to ensure that those in our country who needed help were able to get the help. But guess what? Even in those programs, the people of Nevis, the people of Cotton Ground are being denied their fair share. You see, when we talk about fair share, a lot of people think we're just talking about money. And yes, money is important, because without money we can't develop Nevis. We have said that it is unconscionable that this country in the past 12 years earned $5.3 billion from citizenship by investment. St. Kitts kept 93% for itself, or 4.9 billion, and gave Nevis 400 million, 7%, and then had the heart to turn around and ask Nevis, what we do with the money? What we do with a paltry 7%, the crumbs from the table? And then Timothy Harris, a man who says his father is from Cotton Ground, start to jump up and say, what am I make nice for?
Mark can run this country. For Mark has no love for St. Kitts. The only thing he loves in St. Kitts is our money. That's all they want, to use us. Every $1 million I gave him that was unbudgeted means $1 million less for the people of St. Kitts. Your West.
I want y'all to hear him good in Cotton Ground. He say father from over here. But I know Timothy Harris got to be a wrong child. He must be a young child, because no cotton ground man could have picnic who don't like Nevis. No proud cotton ground father could have a child who thinks so low of the people of Nevis that he is willing to go in public and say that we only want Sinkits for the money. We want to use Sinkits. That's what he's saying, and I'm asking the people of Cotton Ground, where Sinkits get money from? The money he's talking about is our citizenship by investment money. And all of you who are listening now in your homes, take out your passport and look on it while you see on it saying Christopher and Nevis. That is our country, and therefore the money belongs to all of us. And he, with his forwardness, going to talk about we only want Sinkits for Sinkits money. We want to use them. And then to say to us that every dollar that comes to Nevis is $1 less for Sinkits.
Every dollar that I take out the treasury to go up there is $1 less you have down there.
That is the man who say Pooper from Cotton Ground, eh? I mean, no, it's not Pooper Wheeler. He say Pooper from Cotton Ground, and I want Cotton Ground people to disown him. Tell him I want a DNA test. Because as Prime Minister, he clearly does not understand what it means to be the leader of a Twin Island Federation. Because if he starts to try to divide the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, to say as Prime Minister that every dollar that we get over here is $1 less for St. Kitts, to say that we only want St. Kitts for what St. Kitts can give to us, it tells me he does not understand his role. And that is why on the 5th of August, Freedom Day, we must ensure that we have new leadership in Bastille. That is why we must ensure that we go out in our numbers and vote overwhelmingly. Now I'm talking about fair share. And I'm saying that it is unconscionable that the people of Nevis are being told that they must be satisfied with crumbs. And then when we stand up as your leaders, your representatives in Bastille, and we make the point that this was not what we agreed, and that we could not and will not be satisfied with crumbs from the federal table. The same man say, are you greedy? Why I make noise for? I never used to get nothing before. And we are saying, no, the people of Cotton Ground voted for a representative to send him to Bastille to represent them. And we must stand up for them. And so when we talk about fair share, I want the young people over here to understand that the peace program was designed by us in the federal cabinet. And the peace program was designed to say to youngsters that we are prepared to provide resources so that you can have an alternative pathway, one where you're productive and contributing to the development of our society and our country. And that peace program has worked. And the CCM has said that we are committed to continuing that program. But even in that program, there is unfairness. You know, I saw a list that they just put out. But even before that list, I was advised that the peace program had 1,225 people on the program. Only 71 in Nevis. In Nevis, they have told the young people that no women are allowed on the program. What? But in St. Kitts, granny and all on the peace program. What? In St. Kitts, people in jail on the peace program. In St. Kitts, people overseas are on the peace program. What? But in Nevis, they tell the youngsters the program close off. What? No new people allowed. And so out of 1,225, Nevis has 71. Then last October, I'm going to talk the things then because I want the youngsters in Cotton Ground to hear me. Last October, they said to the youngsters in Nevis, You cannot be on the peace program and also on the STEP program. You must choose. And so the youngsters were asked to decide which of the programs they prefer to participate in. Some chose peace, some chose STEP. But in St. Kitts, the youngsters over there did not have to choose. So in St. Kitts, some of the youngsters getting peace money, they're getting STEP money, and on top of that, some of them getting PAP money too. What? 3 pay. But the youngsters in Nevis, they said to them, you all could only get one. When we talk about fair share also means that the same rules must apply across the federation. You cannot have youngsters in Nevis telling them one thing and their counterparts in St. Kitts are getting benefits because you have a different rule for them. The young men and women in Nevis, the people in Cotton Ground and the surrounding areas are no less than. We are equal citizens in this country and we are entitled to the full fruits of our citizenship. And if that makes us bad people for standing up and demanding what belongs to the people of Nevis, then so be it.
We want to see a share, and we don't care. CCM is here.
We look at the STEP program. The STEP program had over 5,000 people on that program. Over 5,000. They take off 1,500. They give them a new name, Parks and Beaches. But it's the same program. Of those, only 300 in Nevis. Whenever we ask for somebody to go on the program, the response is the same. No money there, the program can't take no more people, the program close off. But in St. Kitts, people are going on the program every day. What? So when we say we want fair share, we want fair opportunity for some of the youngsters as well. And the STEP program is a brilliant program if executed properly. Because what the STEP program was designed to do is to say that for businesses, particularly new businesses, what they will do is that the government will pay your wage bill for the first year or two. Allow you to have a breathing space while you train these new employees. And that is what STEP was designed to do. So if a youngster wants to be a baker, you don't want to ask one of the bakeries to hire him because they got to train him and pay him while they're training him. This STEP program was designed to put him on the job. The government pays him while he gets the training. And a year or two later, the idea is that that bakery must now hire him because he now has the skills. Simple project, simple process, brilliant idea. But even in that, the island of Nevis is being denied its fair share. We talk about PAP. PAP has over 6,000 people getting $500 a month. On Nevis, 701 out of over 6,500 people. Again, when we asked, listen, there's a poor man here in Cotton Ground, a poor single mother in Jessup's, Craddock Road, who's seeking some assistance. The same response comes back. No new people are being added to the program. But in St. Kitts, every week, people are being added to the program. And we must sit down there as representatives of Nevis and take that. After we tried, we negotiated, we met behind closed doors, we bring in people. I remember they bring the former Prime Minister of Grenada, they bring Mia Motley, they bring the former Prime Minister of St. Vincent, they brought people here. Imagine we are sitting down as if we're in counseling session because we recognize that work needed to be done. And we tried our very best. But this man who say he father from Cotton Ground, this man was not prepared, ever prepared, to give Nevis people what belongs to them. And this is the same man who said that Nevis people only want them for the money. The same man who said that we want to use St. Kitts. The same man who said every dollar he sends is $1 less for St. Kitts. The same man is who NRP hugging up with. And don't let them try to fool you, the people of Cotton Ground. You know better. Because you have seen the agents coming through. All of a sudden they're coming through and they want to do all kinds of things now for the youngsters in Cotton Ground. We know about it. And who are they asking you to vote for when they come over from St. Kitts? They're not asking you to vote for CCM. They're not asking you to vote for your island. They're not asking you to vote for your country. They're saying support NRP. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? We have come open and we have said that we want to form a government. We only have 3 seats in Nevis. The only way you can form a government is if you are in a coalition. Nevis will never be able to form a government at the party level on its own. So we have said quite clearly to our people, honestly, as we must be, that we intend to form a government. What has NRP said? Oh, they're not aligning. Oh, they don't want any portfolio. Oh, if we get in, we don't want any portfolio.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
That is my good CCM cousin, of whose support I am sure, and whose vote I am sure of, saying that if she get in, them no want no portfolio. Well, if NRP is telling the people of Nevis, vote for me so that I can go to St. Kitts, but I don't want a portfolio. That is like a young man or young woman telling you, shopkeeper, hire me, but I don't want the work. I just want the pay. I don't want the work. I am asking you to send people to St. Kitts who are going to work and who are going to deliver for the people of Nevis.
I come for this work, sign me up. I come for this work, sign me up.
I am here to say to the people of Cotton Ground that they should have no fear about the various social programs that have done good work and will continue to good work in our country. The peace program, the STEP program, the PAP program, and other social programs. Nevis will have its own version of those programs. Run by Nevisians, for Nevisians, because nobody could stay in Basti and determine who in Cotton Ground need help. It must be Nevis people to determine that. Cleon Stapleton Simmons, the representative of the people of St. Thomas, is at the local level. The NRP representative. She has to be able to call me up and says, Premier, I have a family in Cotton Ground that needs help. And I have to have the ability to say that yes, that family should get PAP. Yes, that family was a youngster there, should be on the step to get some training. But imagine if she calls me, I got to call St. Kitts, and St. Kitts will tell you, you know, I had nobody else. No, we are saying that after August 5th, the people of Nevis must have their own programs run by Nevisians for the benefit of Nevisians.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote for CCM.
That is what we are committing to. They say, what are we going to do when we get our fair share? We have a lot of plans. Alexis Jeffers has spoken here tonight. He done tell me he want $25 million to build more housing. Eric Evelyn, I have already said to Eric that I want him to run these new programs in Nevis. And he has demonstrated that he has the heart, the capacity, he has the empathy, the sympathy. He has all of the qualities necessary because Eric loves people. And to run social programs, you must love people because social programs are about people. And I've already said to Eric Evelyn, he used to be the mayor of Handley's Road. He's now the mayor of Gingerland. And I've said to him that I want you to be in charge of the peace program, the STEP program, the PAP program, the food voucher program, and every social program to help people who genuinely need that help. on the island of Nevis.
We speaking with we CCM party, CCM party to fight for Green City.
But I don't want you to think that this election is just about social programs. Important as they are, I have made the case time and time again that it is okay to give a man a fish. It is better to teach him how to fish. And that is why we have said that those programs must be recalibrated to ensure that our young people can start businesses. That right here in Cotton Ground and in Jessops and in the surrounding areas in Barnesgut, that our young entrepreneurs can emerge, because guess what? They are the ones who are then going to hire other people. We must start a culture here where our people are no longer just seeking a job. Our people are creating jobs for themselves and for others. Empowering our people, that is of critical importance to us. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a commitment that we have made. A commitment that we have made to ensure that the people of Nevis have what is required to empower them. We're about building people. Not just giving a man a fish, but teaching him how to fish so that every day he can go out there and feed his family. Our job. And in fact, I just had a conversation at the shop with a friend of mine. And we were talking about poverty. And I'm saying to him that where I come from, in a place called Scarborough in Handley's Road, is a track we had to use, go around the stage and go up the alley to go to bathroom. And using the word bathroom is being nice, because all time they used to say latrine. Latrine. That's what we used to do. But my job is to say that even though those were my circumstances, I will work hard and try to ensure that my children have better circumstances than me. And when I spoke to the gentleman, and he said to me that he was born in humble circumstances, I said, yes, but today one of your children is a lawyer. That is what we must seek to do, to build people, to develop people, to ensure that this island is better than we met it, and that we are leaving it better for our children and for generations yet to come. That's what the CCM is about. That is why we have already built the Tibet Center at the Gingerland High School. And we will be building a second one at the Charlestown Secondary School. You know what Tibet is about? Tibet is about ensuring that our people get certification, because there are a lot of people around here who are skilled mechanics, skilled plumbers, skilled carpenters, skilled masons, skilled hairdressers and beauticians, but they don't have a piece of paper because they learned on the job. What? And we are saying it is time now for the island of Nevis to certify our people so that they have the necessary piece of paper that when they go down to Four Seasons, or they go to TDC or Hosford's, or they go to a homeowner and they say, you have plumbing here, I can do your plumbing, and here's my certificate. That is forward thinking. That is a government that is looking to build people. And that is what we have been about, and we continue to be about. In reference to me, I have been the proud representative of the people of Nevis 9 since August of 2007. And every election, they have voted for me in overwhelming numbers, because they recognize that in me they have a representative who is committed to them. They are with me and I am with them. They have seen me traverse the world, representing them as the foreign minister. And even those who don't like me have been forced to admit that pound for pound, I am the best foreign minister this country has ever seen. I have negotiated scholarships for our young people in far-off places that some of us never heard of. Azerbaijan, Romania, Morocco, and places closer like Mexico, Chile. All of these countries, I have negotiated scholarships so that our young people can go and get the necessary training. I have ensured that our passport is the #1 passport in the entire Caribbean region. And the last rankings that I saw, we were number 24 in the entire world. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on what it means for a small country like St. Kitts and Nevis to have a passport more powerful than China, more powerful than India, more powerful than Brazil, more powerful than Argentina, more powerful than Panama, more powerful than so many countries in the world, 100 times more powerful than so many across the globe. CCM do that.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM.
And when we made those strides, it was not only for the people of Nevis, the entire federation benefited. When we persuaded the Canadian government, after they introduced the fact that you had to travel to Trinidad to get a visa to go to Canada, and we said to them, it is expensive for people to travel to Trinidad. Imagine a family of 4 or 5 here in Cotton Ground. You want to go to Toronto to visit relatives. You have to first fly to Trinidad with no guarantee you'll get the visa. We said no. We persuaded them that they should come here and do the necessary work here, collect fingerprints and the biometrics here. And the Canadians agreed, and you know what I felt good about? I felt good about the fact that even though it was me and my team that negotiated that, all of the Eastern Caribbean benefited because they decided they will extend it to Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, and all the other islands benefited from our initiative. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, I have every confidence in our ability. You know, on the 10th of May, Timothy Harris decided he would bring the government to an end. And he decided to dissolve the parliament. Well, that is all right, because we know night run till morning catch 'em. And even though you dissolve the parliament, you would have 90 days. 90 days. And the 90 days will come to an end on the 5th of August. And when that 90 days come to an end, there's only one result, Cotton Ground, and that one result is an overwhelming victory for the concerned citizens movement.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM.
So what are we gonna do with our fair share? Alexis says he wants more housing, and I agree. Eric says he wants his social programs in Nevis, and I agree. We have said we are going to build a highway from Long Point all the way to Gingerland to open up the south coast of Nevis. We have said the airport has to be done. The Island Main Road has to be done. The road taking you up to Fountain and Westbury has to be done. We have indicated that we must do a stadium at the Mondo track. The new brand hospital at Alexandra has to be equipped. And incidentally, I made a report that things are going well there. We are moving now very quickly at the hospital. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it clear what our plans are. We have said to youngsters wanting to study that no loan at Development Bank for purposes of education should be more than 5%. It is unconscionable that some people are still paying 9 and 11% for student loans at Development Bank. After all, the money at Development Bank is government money. So we have made that clear. We have said to our students studying at the University of the West Indies that the economic cost, which was stopped, has to be restored. And I am here, and I hope the students in Cotton Ground who have been affected are listening to me, because on August 6th, economic costs will be restored for our students studying at UWI. We are covering all of our people from the time of birth until the time that we die, we feel that every person in Nevis must benefit, and every person in this country must benefit. And that is what we're seeking to do. You know, ladies and gentlemen, they say that I'm no longer the foreign minister of the country, and I accept that. But do you know that world leaders are still calling me? Ambassadors are still calling me. They're calling me because they recognize that in me, they have a leader who has regional and international standing. And that is why I feel proud to stand before the people of Nevis and say to them that in the CCM you have a team that is tried and tested. You have a team that is strong, a team that is old enough to know but still young enough to do. A team that is mature, a team that has experience. And when you look at the other side and see what they bring people who have never managed even a little sweetie shop. They never managed even a little Freco stand. I want them young people know what name Freco. Freco is that ice that you shave and then you throw some coloring over it. That's Freco. Well, if you don't know how to manage a Freco stand, how you going to manage an island? And I get a leader. And I want to say something, I hope, if it's controversial, then so it be. NRP had a woman called Cleon Stapleton who came to the people of St. Thomas's and who voted for her. And NRP chose instead of Cleon as their leader, a woman from Cotton Ground. They chose somebody who nobody in Nevis know. Somebody who wash a shoe and come back here. And up to now can't tell us what happened in St. Thomas, why she come home. That's who they chose over Cotton Ground. A Cotton Ground born and bred young woman, a lawyer, to lead them. Somebody that nobody knows. Somebody came back and for 20 years, nobody knew who she was. And that's why the young people are saying that the only name they can find for is Rip Van Winkle. Because Rip Van Winkle slept for 20 years in the mountains. And when he wake up, he come down and he asks if something a keep. The same thing with Janice come lately. Janice come lately, slept for 20 years and then jump up, start to look around and ask if something a keep. And I want the people of Cotton Ground to consider that the daughter of Cotton Ground, who has been elected in a local election, put herself forward. And she was rejected for Janice come lately. And that's the same person that Cotton Ground people must vote for. Think about it. Think about it. Because that is why we are saying that we know the people of Cotton Ground are going to vote for Alexis Jeffers because they're going to vote for the concerned citizens movement and good representation. You see me? I take full responsibility for this party. That's what a leader does. I accept the good and I accept the bad. And that is why I have said to the people of Cotton Ground, you can have confidence in me. You can have confidence in this team. And when you can't reach Eric and you can't reach Alexis, you can reach me. And when you can't reach me and you can't reach Eric, you can reach Alexis. And when you can't reach Eric and you can't reach me, you can reach Alexis. And when you can't reach he and you can't reach me, you can reach Eric. Because we're all for one and one for all. That is why this team is so strong. That is why this team is so strong. And that is why we know over in St. Kitts, Lord, some of them want CCM lose bad. You know why? You know why? Because they are afraid of the quality and the level of representation of St. Kitts. They're afraid of the quality and the level of representation that the CCM brings.
I'm too experienced to be taking for a stroll.
Some of them want some wishy-washy people come. So when they say, oh, we send 7% to Nevis, you should be satisfied. Some of them say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full, sir. We said no, not in CCM. And I'm proud to stand here in Cotton Ground tonight to say not a soul own Mark Anthony Graham Brantley. Not a soul owns the Honorable Eric Evelyn. Not a soul owns the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Not a soul owns the Concerned Citizens Movement. We are a movement taking people forward, advancing our people. And nobody can buy us. We are not for sale. The island of Nevis is not for sale, and our leaders are not for sale. Sometimes when you stand strong, you say, people afraid you. People afraid you. And they want to destroy you because you're willing to stand up. Look across the world. Nelson Mandela stood up. They put him in jail for 27 years. Martin Luther King stand up. They assassinated him. Malcolm X stood up. They assassinated him. Anywhere in the world that people are prepared to stand up against injustice, those who have power seek to destroy them. Well, I'm here to say that the CCM party is strong like a lion. And nobody is going to be able to destroy this great concerned citizens movement.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is about them. Now we free up in the drama them.
Lord, every time I hear that, I remember that the CCM going to have a big blue team coming down the road for the long jump. Cut down, put on something blue, and come join us. They say they got a lot of drinks. We're going to have some fun on the road. Because since Timothy Harris believed he can mash up Culturama by putting elections in the heart of Culturama, we will show him. We will show him that we can jam and campaign at the same time.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is about them.
And I know me can't dance, but jamming easy, chip, chip down the hill. We are going to be there Juve morning. Wear something blue and come out and be a part. Demonstrate the power of the Concerned Citizens Movement, the power of the people of Nevis.
I see next.
Find out.
You don't try to lose. I see next.
Ask them if they're not tired lose. People recognize quality leadership, and that is what we're giving. That is what we're offering. You know, on nomination day, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, But on nomination day, by accident, the two political parties ended up in Charleston. I said by accident because both of us ended up being nominated in Charleston as the last stop. We did not know that NRP was having a meeting in town. We see them walking in town, and I assumed that they were canvassing in Charleston. When we were going up to be nominated, they were walking down. We drove around because we are campaigning. We come through with our music. I'm on the mic and I'm encouraging people to vote for the CCM. We came down, we went around the Hunkins Drive, and we come back up to go to Caribbean Cove, where our base was. This boy named Buster come stand up in the middle of the road, blocked off the road, blocked off the traffic, stood up in the middle of the road in front of my vehicle. I asked the question what it is he was seeking to do. I want to credit my driver, because if my driver had just taken his foot off the brake, the car would have hit him. So imagine if the man had made a mistake and hit gas, the man would have been injured. And you ask the question, what is Buster trying to do? I just hear a dog bark out there, Buster! Bark, Buster, bark! Because I have said in this country, if all you got is talk, and you talk and talk for years, and you ain't man enough to put your name on a ballot, then you're not ready yet.
That's the next side. Are you don't try to lose?
That's why I name him Buster. Because I had a brown dog named Buster. And when Buster tied, he go on bad. As soon as you let go Buster, under the floor. So So Buster come there, and then the thing that bothers me, they're going around trying to tell people that we came to intimidate them. Well, CCM got to come to town to intimidate. CCM is the strongest party in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. CCM is the big blue machine.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bother them.
The thing that bother me, you know, when that same song there, which everybody say is Road March. Road March 2022, look how easy.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bother them.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bother them. The biggest hit when we coming through and the NRP supporters heard the music, but me never see woman walk up so in all my life. Them start to dance.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bother them.
And me and the mic hear me walk up NRP, walk up Road March. There was no animosity. People were there. It was like a little carnival, people enjoying themselves. And this Buster come stand up in front of the Jeep, want to create confusion. His police had to come move him, you know. I hope all eyes see the video. Police had to come move him. It's a pity the police didn't lock him up. Let him go up in his cell and spend a little time up there and understand his ways and be wise. The only thing that they have succeeded at in life is failure. And vex with people because of their own shortcomings. And I'm saying to them, you know, I wish I had some fixer dent in the car that just fling it out and say, boy, I go fix your dentures. Out of order. Out of order. But I'm not going to spend any time on he. Because them there no matter in this thing. Them they are the reason why NRP keep losing. Them they are the reason. Because when I see them there, somebody reminded me that it looks like it's a senior citizens club. What NRP still got them there around NRP for? I would have tell them, if I want to support, do that. But not come close to us, not make no noise. Them, they're not ready yet. But tried to create confusion in Charlestown. And then putting out big statements, say, oh, we tried to mash up their meeting and all kind of thing. What meeting? Are we bringing life to them and I say the woman them start to dance?
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bother them. No mix we up in the drama them.
That is why we have demonstrated, ladies and gentlemen, that we are the party that is serious. We are living in serious times where we're going to have to confront some serious issues. Our citizenship by investment program is under threat from the European Union. It is under threat from the mismanagement by Timothy Harris, who was given 5,500 shares to a Chinese company to build a jail in St. Kitts. Those 5,500 shares are valued at 2.5 billion EC dollars. That is what he's doing over there, putting the program at risk. When the rest of the world is putting sanctions on Russia, he has indicated that he will restart allowing Russians to come into our citizenship by investment program. I can tell you, the Americans, the Canadians, the British, and the Europeans will not take kindly to that. But he doesn't care. Because they say, be careful who you allow on your ship. There are some, if they can't captain the ship, will ensure that they sink the ship. And that, it appears to me, is what he's seeking to do, to sink the ship of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have rising cost of electricity caused by the war in Ukraine and the rising cost of fuel on the world market. In fact, Nevlek has said to us that between last year and this year, the price of diesel has gone up over 100%. And I know the people in Cotton Ground are suffering because the people all over Nevis are suffering from the fuel surcharge.
These are some serious times.
When we talk about fair share, it is unconscionable that while the people of Nevis have to pay a fuel surcharge, Our brothers and sisters in Sinkage don't pay none. They don't pay a fuel surcharge in Sinkage. You know why? They don't pay because on Sinkage, the same citizenship money is used to pay the fuel surcharge for them. But they tell Nevisions, you must not get that. You must not get your share. And so the NIA cabinet has responded. We have made $1.75 million available to NEVLEC per month. And NEVLEC has agreed that they will cap the fuel surcharge at 65 cents. That we cannot go beyond that, even though the actual fuel surcharge now, based on oil prices, should be 90 cents. We have capped it at 65. And we have said to the people of Nevis that just as the members of cabinet took reduced salaries, and just as I went without a salary and benefits for 20 months to show our solidarity with the people of Nevis, so too on this issue, we will show our solidarity with the people of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, this government is about jobs. It's about opportunity. It's about small business development. It's about recognizing that all of our people have talents and must be asked to bring their talents to bear in the development of our country. Yes, Mr. Uber. You see that? That is what we call innovation. Uber reach Nevis. That's what our young people should be doing. Looking for new and innovative ways and ideas to develop. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we are as a government and what we represent and what we will continue to represent. And I'm here tonight to make the commitment to Cotton Ground. Cotton Ground, you will not be left out. You had a wall up there by the play field that was in a dangerous condition. We are finally fixing it. You have roads here in Cotton Ground that needed doing, and we are getting to them. We started the Island Main Road right here in Cotton Ground to ensure that this part of the road was done first. And we have demonstrated to the people of Cotton Ground that we will continue to work with them. The youngsters over here, we have redone the basketball court. And we are committing to you tonight that we already have plans to put stands and bathrooms at the Cotton Ground playing field. The Honorable Eric Evelyn is leading a program right now to light all the playing fields in Nevis. And in Cotton Ground, the lights that are there will be changed to energy efficient bulbs. We are working with all of our people. We will deliver for all of our people. And that is why on election day, August 5th, next Friday, is Freedom Day. I'm asking you to go out and vote overwhelmingly for Alexis Jeffers. Send us back to do the work. Send us back to ensure that you have the kind of representation in Bastia that you need. I feel so good in Cotton Ground. They tell me that we must end the meeting early. The rain has come, but I don't even want to go home. The energy in Cotton Ground is always good because I'm saying, Cotton Ground, you hold the key. You hold the key in this election. You must step up and vote for your country. Vote for the people that you know will represent you and will continue to do the best by you. So I want when we start to count late on the 5th of August and into the morning of the 6th of August, I want you to say number 9, number 10, number 11, CCM, CCM, CCM. 3 seats for we, all 3 for we. So Cotton Ground, as I leave the stage, let me ask you the question I ask on every occasion. CCM, Cotton Ground, St. Thomas's, are you ready? If you're ready, let me hear you make some noise in Cotton Ground tonight. And let people, wherever they are, feel the power of the concerned citizens movement. Cotton Ground, let me hear you. Are you ready? Thank you. Good night, and God bless you.
I'm jamming with the big